What up, everybody? I'm your host, JP, and this is my co host, Josh.
Hey everybody.
And welcome back to another episode of the Film Bros podcast. All right, Josh. So, we got some returning news here today. We got a few things that we're going to have to talk about. And, I'm hoping, just like your recency bias with your Spider-Man, you have positive things to say for everything that comes down this pipeline today. And that was a slight dish. It was a slight dig. Take it as you will. Take it as you will, brother. Take it as you will. But first things first, Josh, we gotta talk about the God of War TV series. So apparently, after last week, we talked about, hey, Ryan Hurst, he's no more. He's not gonna be around anymore. He's not gonna be on the show because he wound up hurting his right or left arm, something like that. He wound up tearing something, which basically put him out for the whole filming shoot. And I believe it gave Amazon a reason to basically get rid of him, right? And it's kind of, some people are like, hey, he was kind of born to play this role, and he's just missing out. We even talked about that Amazon is going to be starting from scratch. They're not even going to start from episodes filmed or anything like that. They're just getting rid of him completely. And it caused a lot of online chatter. First things first, it made him go on the internet and post his Kratos body with a little bit of the Kratos paint right here. I mean, some people were like, man, he was born to play Kratos. But I remember when that picture came out and everybody was like, hey, man, what the fuck are they doing? Now, he posts a picture like this and people are like, man, Ryan Hurst was actually born to play Kratos. I don't know. Maybe we should fire the cinematographer who took that first picture or something, with Atreus and Kratos, where he looks like he's out of breath and bent over. You know what I mean?
Crazy. Yeah, the fucking switch up is insane, but no, clearly not. Clearly he wasn't born to play it. He tore a fucking muscle doing whatever he was supposed to do. So physically, he clearly wasn't up for it.
But looking at this picture,
I mean, he looks good. I can't deny that he looks good, but born to play him based off of one single picture, no. This probably would have generated more hype than that initial first picture that was there.
right?
And then boom, we would have fucking. I'm sure that would have boosted it. But now that we know that he's hurt and he's not coming back, and this is kind of like I don't even know what this is, a desperate attempt to be like, I can still do it. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know.
Like Amazon, I can still do it. My arm, the surgery was only like 2 months or something like that. I can still
Right.
do it. I promise. I don't know. Maybe that's what it was. I know that this picture wound up coming out not too long after the news that even Atreus, the boy that's going to be playing Atreus, is going to be also seeked out for a new actor um, by season 2. So apparently we'll get the actor that's playing Atreus right now, but they're looking for somebody older when Atreus comes around in season 2, and for an older Thread as well. And if we know
Right.
Thread, I believe that is what's his name or her name? It would be
Oh,
Thor's daughter.
Throod.
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 Yeah,
It's
it's
Throod.
Thor's daughter.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Throod. Replay the games. See, fake fan. Look at this guy.
Hey man, I don't know the North mythology names, man. What do you
You
want me to
didn't
tell
play.
you?
You played Ragnarok though, so you should know it's Throod.
I thought it was
Clearly,
Thread.
no. What kind of name is Thread? What kind of name is Thread?
Paul Rudd.
That doesn't sound like Thread.
It's a Paul Rudd. Thread.
N-
I feel like I could make a rap out of this.
no, dude, no. That's crazy. Replay the games, fake fan.
Yeah.
I mean that's cool. I mean I don't know why they would. Oh well, never mind. That's not true. If it's for season 2 or whatever, then yeah, you would need older actors. You would need that time jump. I hope it's not a drastic change from the first one and the second one. I hope the writing is still the same and they don't just fucking oh, he's a sweet kid now, and then boom, he's fucking Kratos Jr. or something like that by the second one.
Well, isn't the second one is mostly like obviously as part of Kratos' adventure or whatever, but you do get to play as Atreus a little bit more. He is coming into his own, and by the end of it, if you're not a fake fan, All right, over here shooting shots my way. You know that by the end of it, Atreus basically goes on his own adventure, and Kratos is basically going on his own adventure to find Faye as well. So it's like he's, you know, they need to set them up to basically do spin-offs
Yeah.
if they're gonna basically wait for a God of War 3, I believe. So
Yeah.
maybe you need somebody that's gonna hold the camera more than the one that's in season one, because I'm pretty sure they don't really need to change the actor. If you just give him some time to grow, he'll grow on his own. You know, like that's just basically how like it works with kids. So
Well, yeah. I mean, by the time season 2 rolls around, this kid would probably have a fat growth spurt. But
yeah,
um, yeah. I don't know. I mean, it sucks, but I understand if they're looking for people around, you know, 17 years old, whatever. And I guess he won't have a fat growth spurt like that. He won't reach that kind of age in 2 years, obviously. But I mean, if that's what they're looking for, Kratos would be the only one that stays the same, technically.
well, yeah, and there might be talks of a new Kratos. So like I said, Ryan Hurst was our last guy. He the one that got hurt, and they are going to basically redo his whole episodes that he basically shot. But the next person in line to basically take the role of Kratos for Amazon Prime is Dave Bautista himself. He's in talks to replace Ryan Hurst in the God of War series. And this is where I was like, uh, are we going the right way or are we going the wrong way? Now, I know Dave Bautista is kind of like the muscular dude, right? Like he needs to put that weight back on because I mean, when he was ripped, he was in that, in my opinion, Kratos shape. So I could this be good? Sure, but do I see Dave Bautista being Kratos? Man, it's kind of that one's a tough one. That one's a tough one.
Yeah, it's tough. He'd have to get some muscle mass back.
All of it back because he
He,
lost a lot.
he's 57 years old, bro. I don't know if we could see that.
You're doubting Bautista?
His age and where he's at, yeah. If he was as big as he was in Knock at the Cabin, okay, cool, sure. But he was a lot younger then, and he's a lot older now, so it's gonna be tough if that's the case.
I think he could do it.
I don't know, man.
I think he could do it. I do think. I do think just him as like Kratos is kind of crazy. I would like to hear his Kratos voice. That'd be cool. I kind of heard a little bit what Ryan Hurst would have sounded like, and he does have a deep voice like Kratos. I think that's why they picked him. But I, this is the hard part, right? Where like you got to find somebody with the physicality of Kratos, but also like that stern voice of Kratos as well too. I, like I said, you know, we'll just Fantastic Four Silver Surfer it and just get the dude and just voice over him. Like I don't understand why we just don't do that. Get somebody who's body built enough who can play the role with his body, and then just have somebody do the voice lines. Like I don't understand why we can't do something like that.
I don't know, bro. Maybe because it's a lot of work, and you technically have to pay two people to play a single role. I don't know.
Well, I understand that, but it's like I don't think anybody's gonna play. Who could play Kratos? Who off rip could just play a Kratos? Who could just play the Kratos? Like
No.
you just aren't born to play Kratos. You have to have somebody who could make up this character. Ryan Hurst could have possibly been the guy to play Kratos if he would have, you know, not been such a woman about his injury.
Basically, if he would have just taken it on the chin.
Yeah. Yeah.
We already got Christopher Judge. No, not Jason Momoa. Not Tom Hardy. Triple H. The wrestler?
Yeah. No, I don't think so. If you've seen him in Blade 3.
Alan
Yeah, no.
Rickson? No.
You want
Je-
Alan Rickson as Kratos is crazy.
Jeff Bridges? No. He's just as old as fucking Dave Bautista.
Yeah, but and he's not. remotely ripped.
Roman Reigns, the actor.
See, like Alan Rickson will probably have like the physique for it, but he can't do Kratos.
All these people that are like choosing these actors are like they're either all aged out now, and in their younger days probably this probably would have kicked ass, but now that they're older, it's like no, you can't really see them like that.
Imagine like Sylvester Stallone in his prime playing Kratos.
Right, right. Hey, Trace.
Hey, Atreus, go go get Boulder over there. I don't
Boulder,
know.
what's the big idea?
I do think that Dave Bautista as a new Kratos is kind of like not the best for me, but you know I understand as well. Um, but yeah, Josh, you don't have any names to throw out there. Everybody just seems like not no goes for you.
Nah, I don't know. Dave Bautista's pretty close though, but I'm just not sure about what he look like. I need a picture or something.
And not one like that dog shit one that we got as our first look with Ryan Hurst and that other kid who's played Atreus.
Yeah, like
We
if he
need an
was,
actual. We need
yeah,
a good picture.
yes, if he was to reveal himself with a picture and like in the same way that Ryan Hurst just posted one like that, I would probably get behind that.
Not like one where he's like bent, out of breath for some reason.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
even look like Kratos. It's crazy.
Right.
It looked like cosplay. But in this photo, it does look. He looks like he's taking it a little bit more serious. Even the beard looks more thick than what that picture that we saw looked like.
Right.
Whoever took that picture did him dirty. They did him dirty, and you know if that's the case, oh well. He deserves better. He deserves better. But let us know what you guys think. God of War is getting a new actor. We don't know who it is, but they are sure opting to go with a bigger name, which sounds like more of a draw. You know, Dave Bautista over Ryan Hurst. Like that just sounds like a better draw in my opinion. But you know, we'll have to wait and see if he has the chops for Kratos. Moving on though, Josh, X-Men is coming together. D23 is this week. There is going to be a lot of announcements, I'm pretty sure. Rumor has it that all the X-Men characters have been cast. Adam Driver is being rumored to um, not play Magneto, but to play supposedly Sebastian Shaw. And the last time we saw Sebastian Shaw was in First Class, played by Kevin Bacon. So I mean, it'll be a cool little jump. But like I said, D23 is coming around. Kit Connor, though, apparently his role for Cyclops has been kind of revealed before D23. Apparently, it was between him, Kit Connor, and the other dude that we were talking about the last time, the one from the Long Walk. I forgot his name.
Right.
I'm sorry,
I know what you're
but
talking about.
apparently it was between those two, and apparently due to scheduling conflicts, the other guy won't be able to do it. Kit Connor might be our new Marvel Studios Cyclops.
It's pretty good.
We
I
got
mean, he's from.
Sadie Sink as Jean Grey, Kit Connor as Cyclops.
Yeah, I don't know if I know him from anywhere. You recognize this guy?
No, I thought he was on Riverdale.
No.
Heartstopper.
He was in Warfare.
Rocket Man. Older Reggie. I haven't seen Rocket Man. Grandpa's Great Escape. His Dark Materials. He played Tommy in Warfare. Oh, he played with Wiccan with Joe Locke in Heartstoppers.
Oh, okay.
So they have a rapport with each other. Who did he play?
He was Bright Bill in The Wild Robot.
Bright Bill. Oh, that's him right here.
Okay, so he's coming up. All right, cool. He's gonna be in the new Elden Ring movie.
Yep, see, there he is. So he was the guy that got his ship blown up
Right.
at the car. He was the guy that when the guy goes out to the car and he's afraid and then
Yeah.
it blows up.
Mm-hmm.
That's him. He was the guy that got blown up.
Oh, okay. See, so we
He's
kind of
handsome. He's a handsome guy. I
right.
wouldn't I wouldn't see him not playing a Cyclops. That's pretty cool. It's better than the other pick. I know some people were like, "Oh my God, he's overweight. He could lose the weight." You know, the other guy, if he wanted to, if he really wanted to play Cyclops, it would have happened. But I do think Kid Connor is a pretty. It seems like a solid take. He's no. I mean, I understand like some people didn't like the original Cyclops, but I personally did.
Right.
What's his name?
Mm. The old one.
Mm-hmm. Marston. No,
Um. Yeah, no, isn't that James Marston, something like that?
James. M- James Marston, right? Morrison. I don't know. Trying to figure it out because I've been playing a lot of Red Dead. I'm getting the names mixed up. James Marsden. James Marsden. He's no James Marsden, all right? And I remember the other dude when they, recasted him in like it wasn't First Class, was it? Was it Days of Futures Past?
Right.
When they recasted him, they were really trying to get somebody who looks more like James Marsden himself. So I'm just like, it's good that we're getting a whole new roster of different people. Now, this is something that, in my opinion, might be the problem is that they're obviously, you know, where like the original X-Men seemed like they were trying to pick people that, had good chemistry with like, uh, I want to say with maybe Patrick, with Magneto and possibly Holly Berry. It seems like they're going based off what Sadie Sink has to bring to the table. So everybody has to be basically the age around Sadie Sink. I mean, we've been noticing that with kind of these reports, with Beast, even Samara Weaving's, her casting as well as Emma Frost. It's kind of like she's older, but she's still like looking in that young era. You know what I mean? So we're getting a lot
Yeah.
of younger X-Men for this, for this reboot.
Yeah. I mean, that's cool. I mean, I have no problem with that stuff. I think it's, I think they're trying to plan for them to be alive for a long haul. So that's
Like
cool.
another 10 to 12, 15 years or something.
Yeah. So when another universe shows up, they can be in that universe. They can show up there too.
Or they
That's
could swap them out by then. I
right.
mean, I think that's the point of what Secret Wars is, right? So eventually we'll get to that point again where we're just gonna redo everything from scratch, or at least what Kevin Feige likes to say is like a reboot, just like just kind of starting over with different people.
Right. Right. And that's not a problem. I think he has a good idea.
Sadie Sink and Cyclops usually have like a love thing, right?
Right.
Jean Grey and like Cyclops or something, and then it's usually Jean Grey who gets with Wolverine as well. So I wonder what our Wolverine's gonna look like too. If this is kind of like, gonna be the match for Sadie Sink here, like who could possibly be the opposite and like the same age as them?
I don't know, because if Hugh Jackman is supposed to stop playing him at some point, I think they might end up continuing with X-23. That's my theory, anyway.
I don't know. I don't think so. Wolverine's too profitable. I think they'll just recast him.
Well,
I
that's
I
why
know like
X-23.
no, see that's what I'm saying. No, you're trying to get somebody else in there. That's kind of like what they did with Iron Man to Ironheart. You know what I mean? It's like yeah, you could probably use X-23 and people were probably excited, but general audiences are not ready for an X-23. Like that's not. Maybe on people on Twitter will be like, yeah, we want an X-23 film, and then they just don't show up to the theater. But like these general audience people, they're not showing up to no X-23. They want to see Wolverine, and if Hugh Jackman is kind of getting worn out for some people because he is getting on the older side, it's like we need a new Wolverine that people are gonna rally behind. Because we got to be honest, Marvel, where DC has like Batman, Wonder Woman, and Superman, which is supposed to be their big three, but Superman can't seem to, stay in the fucking media zeitgeist long enough to, make its money back. Anyways, um,
Mm.
I believe Marvel's they basically know that it's what Hulk, Spider Man. Wolverine. Like those
Wolverine.
are like the money makers when it comes down to like what they sell and everything like that. So it has to be that they recast Wolverine. They wouldn't just throw him to the side, especially when they're finally getting what could possibly be like an actual X-Men team compared to what we got with Fox. I know a lot of people were upset about that, at least on Twitter. If you look back at it now, they're not so bad. I never thought they were so bad,
They,
but
they
I know
were
a
a
lot of
team. They
people
were a team for the first three movies.
too.
They weren't a
Too.
team in the third one.
They were, but that's when the internal stuff and Jean started. She imploded Cyclops, and it started just breaking everything apart. So
Right, right, right. Damn, shame.
technically, they were a team in Days of Futures Past.
Right, and they had a cool. I mean, even for the team that we had, and they were getting their shit pushed in, they had a good team. They still had Iceman. They had the dude that shot the lava. They still had
Mm.
Colossus. They still had Kitty. They had Bishop. I wish we get. I need them to cast a Bishop.
Yeah, we need a new bishop. That was pretty cool. Um, I do want to see a new Sebastian Shaw as well. So if we do round up getting around to that, like that'd be pretty cool. I do think that we're gonna get a good casting like announcement at D23. So this could be just Marvel just hyping people up, giving them a little taste of what's to come. But if we do get that confirmation, like I said, that Kit Connor, Adam Driver's playing somebody that we basically got a roster of X-Men just waiting in the cut, just waiting for their movie to basically be filmed, and with Sadie Sink kind of spoiling that her next movie is gonna basically be X-Men that she's gonna film. So that says Marvel needs the casting all together because they should be recording around 2027, late 2027 maybe.
Yeah, because the movie's gonna be coming out 2028.
Yeah.
Interesting stuff. Can't wait.
Can't wait for can't wait for these announcements. Can't wait for the cameras to roll. I mean, we've been due an X-Men film, especially after what Disney pulled with that whole Phoenix thing at the end of the Fox tenure. It's kind of like, we could have had a happy ending, but they took a lot of things out because, rumor has it there was a lot of like, you know, similarities to what Miss Marvel was doing at the time, or not Miss Marvel, but Captain Marvel,
Yeah.
right? With her movie coming out in with next to Infinity War and whatnot. Apparently there were scrolls involved and blah blah blah. So like Marvel gutted that shit as soon as they bought 20th Century Fox, and the rest is history. We got what we got with that, and then we got a delayed. What was it? The New Mutants or whatever, and we didn't get a happy ending with that one either.
Yeah.
But apparently, Anna Taylor Joy is being eyed to want to possibly come back as the same role for Marvel Studios. So I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. It would be a good money draw. Who knows? Who knows?
Okay.
But let us know what you guys think. X-Men is on the table. It's finally happening. We're getting the announcements pretty soon. So if all those X-Men fans that were basically starved, waiting years for your X-Men to come back, and then just basically put a band-aid over it with X-Men 97, which was good the first season. Not hearing really great things on the second season. Not too sure how accurate that is, but yeah, you guys are gonna finally be fed in 2028.
Finally.
Not yet though. Understand the meal is on its way. But now, so you're gonna do a little bit more starving here.
Yeah,
Just,
yeah, yeah.
just, just a few more months, but it's on its way. Let us know what you guys think, though. Let us know about Kit Connor being a possible pick for the Cyclops role, and what we could possibly be hearing when D23 rolls around. Moving on, though, Josh, Disney has some explaining to do. Not just Disney, but also Paramount, WB, and then what we're gonna be talking about next. But first things first, we need to talk about what the Disney CEO himself, Josh D. Amaro, uh, was talking about. Now, this, we are keeping track of this man, right? We kept track of the end tenure of Bob Chapek when he gave the keys back to Bob Iger. We know that this is the time, and I got basically all the more important stuff. But around this time is usually like the quarterly calls. We get the Paramount quarterly calls. That's why we're getting the D23 this week. And then we got the quarterly call when it came down to Disney and all that stuff. And so I only basically picked out this article right here, because this has to this where Disney's kind of like been all over the place, and we've been kind of yelling at Disney like, hey, a live action Moana, do we need that? It's 20 that movie came out in 2016. Is that something that's necessary right now? And people and Disney was like, "Yeah, we're going to put it out." They wound up filming it. They put it out. Did terribly at the box office. Mandalorian Grogu, everybody was like, "Hey man, shouldn't we have waited for, for the reunitement or whatever?" And they were like, "Yeah, but we did it anyways." And then there's also a movie coming out. The movie came and went, did not do the best at the box office. Unfortunately, even as a Star Wars fan, it just did not do great. It made like 300 million at the box office on like $180 million budget. So I mean, it did make a profit, but it's not making as much as as we were hoping. And apparently, with the PR push that they were basically promoting this movie gigantically, it did not break even. Unfortunately, these movies did not break even. But Josh D'Amaro is basically admitting some things, and I don't know if they're good at if it's good for us, the consumer, or bad for us, the consumer, right? Especially if we're the ones who are kind of taking up, buying tickets for Disney for Doomsday. If you're a Disney adult, I read this article, they're squeezing you out of every dime. Like, let's just be
Oof.
honest. Like I feel like they're realizing where they're getting their money nowadays, and unfortunately, with their focus not being as heavy in the box office, it seems like they're getting their money elsewhere.
Right.
So Josh D'Amaro admitted at the latest earnings call saying that Star Wars: The Mandalorian, The Grogu, and the live-action Moana remake both underperformed at the box office this summer. Although he maintained that both titles were not outright busts for the studio, they contributed to merchandise sales, drove people to theme parks, and more. Um, Damaro says this: even when our franchise films don't meet our box office expectations, talking about Mandalorian, Grogu, and Moana, says that our investments in these core properties fuel other parts of our company, Damaro said. Um, the Mandalorian and Grogu drove healthy growth in retail sales for Star Wars franchise and drew guests to the updated Millennium Falcon attraction at Disneyland and Walt Disney World and led to significant engagement in gaming as well, he explained. And the live action Moana is expected to be a strong title on Disney Plus, building on the success of the original film, which is one of the most streamed movies of all time. Disney summed out this outlook on these box office disappointments by writing in these earning releases, these franchise investments contributed to value creation beyond their theatrical release.
Oh damn. So yeah, they're basically just like, hey man, while they sucked, we got revenue somewhere else. That's cool. I mean, that's fine. At least they have something like that. At least he could be honest and say, hey, my shit ain't really hitting the fan right now, but I'm still making that bread. I have nothing to show. I have
We got
no.
toy sales, we got Disney tickets,
Yes,
right?
I
You
had.
saw Moana, or at least a few people that did, or at least wanted to feel the wonder of Moana, knowing that it's live action, went to
Yeah.
Disneyland to go buy those things. So, and I know what you're thinking, Josh. You're like, if they're suckers and they're paying for their Disney movie or the Disney movies that we're basically getting, Star Wars, whatever, why are we upset? Well, Josh, let me tell you. Let me let you know real quick, okay? Since you asked me so nicely, I'm gonna
Okay.
tell you. As a film person, okay, a lot of the times when we go to the movie theaters, right? That's how the box office, that's how the companies know, hey, they really like this movie, or hey, they really dislike this movie, right? When the box office doesn't meet the standards that the producers basically said, or at least the shareholders, the people that are putting money for this movie, if they basically see that, hey, this movie's not doing good, they don't make any more of those movies. They say, hey, we're pumping the brakes, we're stopping. That's why with Marvel, Marvel is such a big train. They sell so many movies, or at least so many toys and whatnot. Like, even when they were making bad movies, they were still making money on the toy sales. So it was kind of like a safety net, right? And we like safety nets. At least it recoups money somewhere. That's always like the thinking, right?
Yeah.
But if we go to the box office and they look at things like Mandalorian, Grogu, and Moana as not this box office failure, that like, as not like, oh, people just didn't want to see this. People don't want to see a Moana movie remade when we can honestly just watch the original one over there at Disney Plus, right? Like for free. If they see that and we still and they're just like, hey, we don't give a shit. Moana 2 is gonna be made now because it's gonna give us more ticket sales and it's gonna give us more toy sales and everything. You're taking the wrong message, in my opinion, right? Just because you're making money as your beeline, these people that don't give a shit about the product that's going into the movie theater. What about us that are going and paying these movie tickets? And let's just be honest, I did not pay for Moana. I'm not. We got the original one on Disney Plus. Why the fuck would I go to the movie theater to watch Dwayne Johnson cosplay? That just doesn't make any sense. Now, will people give it a chance on Disney Plus? Probably, because it's free. At that point, you're paying it with your subscription or whatever. Will it possibly do better on Disney Plus? Maybe, because like I said, it's free. People are probably just gonna put it on anyways because they're just gonna be like, oh, it's a live action. It's something different than the cartoon one or whatever, right?
Right.
But from what I hear, it's beat for beat, song for song,
The same thing.
the same thing. So it's like for us, it makes me upset at Disney, especially at this steps that this CEO is kind of taking because it's like we can't even voice our opinion. We can't even voice our opinion with money at the box office. You guys are just gonna put out slop and just hope that it builds revenue to your guys' next thing, which is video games, Disney parks, you know. I know Fortnite's supposed to be teaming up with Disney to make Disney whatever Fortnite or whatever. That's gonna eventually be a thing where they're gonna be making money on skins and stuff. We'll probably get a Dwayne Johnson Moana haired skin, baby Grogu in there at one point. I'm pretty sure. I think it's in Fortnite already. But that's basically why I bring this up. If we're losing here on this end, there, I guess the Disney adults are technically winning because they're still going to be living their truth. But you got to understand that for me, that's going to be a problem for them because eventually they're going to start putting up prices on merchandise because they're not going to be making as much money at the box office. So then they're going to be
Yeah.
squeezing even more out of that side of the consumer.
Yeah, basically. And it just, I mean, it's just not only does it sounds okay that they're making money. At least they're like, oh no, we're not taking a complete loss, but at the same time, yeah, you should care about what you're putting out movie wise. Otherwise, they'd stop making movies in general. You know what I mean? But they know
Right.
they need that as a revenue too, so that's a dumb business strategy.
What
So
they're
I
using it
hope,
as they use it as a trailer for their
yeah,
attractions.
for their stupid park, yeah,
You're seeing a 1.5 hour movie as a trailer, and you walk out, and then you're just like, man, I really should go to that Disneyland park. Man, I'm gonna buy some Moana gear. You know,
yeah. But Disneyland Park, I'm sorry, Disneyland, I'm like the most annoying place on earth to me. I can't. I
the
haven't
most
even went
expensive
inside the
place on earth.
park. I haven't even went inside the park in years. But City Walk alone, that whole area outside the park, just as bad. I fucking can't stand it. I don't know. There's too many people.
Yeah, Disney, in my opinion, from everything that I've seen, and it's unfortunate. It used to be a place where like kids just go, but now it's turned into like Disney adults and people that just can't seem to grow up and they're just always at Disneyland all the damn time. So it's like,
Listen, yeah,
yeah, it's fun. It is what it is. I'm more just like, okay, well, Disney just sounds like they are not taking the box office seriously anymore. I mean, yeah, you could probably just spin this, and this could probably just be for like I said, the earnings call and spin it and be like, hey, we're not taking a loss. We're still making money, and this could be them learning a lesson and putting more effort into their movies, or like I said, this could be totally opposite. They learn nothing, and they're saying, hey, we don't even need to make money at the box office. We make money everywhere else. After you see a trailer or whatever Moana, you're gonna go buy your Moana stuff, or you're gonna see like, oh, live action Moana on things or whatever. It's gonna be new merchandise or Mandalorian Grogu gear or whatever. You're gonna buy it anyways. You might see it on Disney Plus, and that'll drive revenue to their streaming service. So box office is not really like their main concern. It doesn't sound like, or at least for Josh DeMaro, which is concerning. Because wasn't Bob Iger just trying to bring box office back? Like, wasn't he like basically setting a standard for
right.
like how many movies are going to the theaters, how many streaming stuffs are basically going to come out, and if it's actually important, even though he did greenlight Frozen 3 and 4, fine, you know.
Yeah. If only the CEOs could hear our pleas. It's crazy because I can give them credit for at least being like, yeah, those were trash. Sucks that we couldn't make our money back. But then you should be aiming that shit toward quality, not being like, oh yeah, I still got this though. I still got that. You know
Right.
that's just as delusional as not recognizing your failures. And it's
Mm-hmm.
like, what the fuck are we doing?
Squeezing the Disney adults out of every single penny. Look, I can't tell you guys to stop, but please stop giving Disney their money. Let them understand. Let them understand that they cannot just make nonsense and just take your money. I know everybody's just gonna let that fall on deaf ears, and they're just gonna be like, "Hey, I bought my Disney tickets as we were speaking. As you were saying that, I bought my Disney tickets. I'm going to Disneyland. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Disney needs to get it together, though. Josh Tomorrow is, in my opinion, he's new. I don't think these movies were made under his watch. These were kind of made under Bob Iger's watch. He did kind of green light these ones, and he just has to pick up all these pieces. So, do I fault him 100%? No. Do I feel like this could possibly just be like a stunt to keep investors happy? Possibly, that hey, we lost money there, but we're still making money. I'm hoping that this is kind of like that, where it's kind of like that stunt where he's just kind of talking out of his ass to basically be like, hey, we're still making money, and then we actually get better products down the road. You know what I mean?
Yeah, basically. But we'll see.
Oh, yeah, because I mean, you got to make money on both fronts. You can't just be leaning on these Disney adults. Like I said, eventually that's gonna go up. It is kind of going up as we speak, and then eventually they're just gonna stop spending altogether. And
Yeah.
then eventually you're gonna have a park full of just Disney adults that are gonna be just couples or single people, and there's gonna be no children because the parents can't afford it and the children can't afford it.
Right. And then that
It's gonna be
generates a new one because it's like, oh well, when I was a kid, I didn't get to go. Let's go, and then they fall into that weird cycle too.
right. Right. So let us know what you guys think, though. Disney CEO is doing his best as we speak. But are we happy with this news that he is focusing more on other efforts
No,
than actual box office
no.
potential? We have to wait and see. Moving on, though, Josh, David Ellison apparently in position to veto anything over at Warner Brothers, including and not limited to DC Studios. So Warner Brothers Discovery, they basically are in the Warner Brothers Discovery and Paramount are both in the middle of this whole antitrust lawsuit for their merger that is basically set for March 2027. David Ellison is doing his best to get out of it because he's going to have to be spending a good chunk of money in order to keep this deal alive until March 2027. So David Ellison is basically doing what he can to get this moved up faster. We're hearing a couple of states are actually, kind of removing themselves as we speak. So I don't know how long it's going to be. He might be even selling CNN at one point. That'll be besides the point because I mean, that's a big point. I know that a lot of the contingent, especially when it comes down to what they're putting in this antitrust lawsuit, is that they're basically trying to manipulate the media for Donald Trump, our president. And I don't know if that's true or not, but he did actually offer to sell off CNN if that would help this antitrust lawsuit kind of get thrown out a little bit faster. So I mean, if he's willing to give away CNN and not completely warp it, you know, maybe that'll make things a little bit easier in the long run. That's a different topic for another day. I kind of want to talk about DC here because apparently David Ellison has say so on all kinds of things. And like I said, that's not just DC, but that's all of big Warner Brother IPs that they have. David Zaslav did come out and say that Superman was a sequel that looked amazing, that there is no strategy shift after the failed performance of Supergirl and whatnot. But right after that, a news article basically came out, and this was basically David Zaslav's earnings call right before he basically steps down. And the whole Paramount thing goes through, but I'm pretty sure he's waiting for the Paramount thing to go through. But this was his earnings call, basically saying that DC has no shift. Supergirl was a misfire. He did admit that, but that they're basically holding strong for whatever's to come with the DC Studios brand. But then this article comes out basically saying that David Ellison and the gang are basically able to say no, right? And David Zaslav did only mention up until Man of Tomorrow, Clayface, and basically all the things that are in production right now. He don't mention of Jimmy Olsen, um, nothing like that. So I don't know if Paramount basically got wind and has been vetoing a lot of these plans that James Gunn basically has, right? So when Paramount was being bought out by Skydance, there was a whole fiasco, and we kind of talked about this too a couple years ago. That the team that was making South Park basically was getting in a skerfuffle with Paramount because that whole acquisition that was happening, they couldn't make a deal until Ellison basically pinned one out, and he can only do that once the deal actually went through. It caused a big PR nightmare, but it wound up getting resolved in the back end and gave them a bunch of whatever, whatever. But they did have to sit and wait. Same thing might be happening with a lot of the stuff that's happening over there at Warner Brothers, where David Ellison is basically like, well, I don't know if I trust your team all the way 100% on that side, especially with some of the box office performances. I know that DC has been having a few flops. Pam DeLuca, I know that they got their contracts renewed, and so they're going to be around for a while. I don't think that David Ellison has an issue with them because things are still being put onto his plate, and he's still greenlighting those. The ones that are not getting greenlit but are getting a lot of discussion is DC Studios. I know we talked about Blue Beetle not being able to come into fruition, even though James Gunn says that it's still being moved forward. But according to a different article, Blue Beetle, though it's not in the shitter just yet, that if Warner Brothers or HBO Max basically passes on that idea, he's allowed to go and shop that around to somewhere else. So he's able to go and sell that Blue Beetle idea to somewhere else. So not completely dead. James Gunn is right, even though he just comes out. He didn't want to talk about Supergirl or nothing, but he wants to talk about whether or not Blue Beetle animated series is still coming out. Interesting enough. At the end of the day, it seems like DC Studios does not have the power that they used to have, where James Gunn was just lighting shit up left and right just to basically put it out. And we even talked about that. Hey, it just seems like he's trying to get everything out the door. It does seem like David Ellison is now putting a stop to all that nonsense at this point in time.
Good. Good. If he can cancel the Jimmy Olsen show and start everything from scratch, that'd be great. That'd be so nice. That'd be cool. I mean, it sounds like a lot of stuff isn't gonna make it, and that's just based off Supergirl alone. And so, yeah, maybe Clayface changes their tune. Maybe Band of Tomorrow changes their tune. I don't think so, but maybe. Benefit of the doubt. That Blue Beetle animated show, that shit sounds like a waste of time. I hope that gets canceled. Unfortunately, Zolo Meriduena deserves more than an animated show. He deserves a sequel just as much as anyone else deserves a movie. Yeah,
I mean,
I don't know.
We even got rumors that the Batman script was done.
Yeah.
The Batman, the Brave and the Bold, but no Batman casting.
Right.
And then we also hear that it's gonna be made pretty soon, and obviously that Andy Muschietti is attached to it, but he got a lot of other things that he's attached to as of right now because he is a hot director. I don't think he has time for this whole DC Studios Brave and the Bold thing at this point. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems like there is something gumming up the works, and if it is this merger, and Ellison is basically like, "Hey, you're not allowed to put anything else out. I seen the kind of damage you're basically putting onto DC Studios. We need to stop that until we get actual leadership over there." And with the rumors also saying that James Gunn and Peter Safran are also out the door once this merger goes through. I don't know, Josh. We might be getting something here.
A fucking slower and much more a lot faster tenure done at DC than we expected, which is, I don't mind. I don't have a problem with that. As someone who was not exactly a fan of this whole universe, that's fine.
You're not I mean, we're both not fans. Or I mean, we're DC fans. Remember, we're
We're
DC
DC
fans,
fans.
and we're doing our best here.
Right.
But yeah, I like after seeing, like I said, after seeing what Supergirl brought to the table, Superman. A lot of people are basically seeing James Gunn and saying, "Hey, you don't have it in you to do this, this kind of DC universe thing, right? Like this is not your cup of tea." So we're getting to the point where, general audiences are basically figuring it out. Some of the gunners are figuring it out as well. But we're figuring out quick, fast, and well, especially with what we're talking about last week as well, where David Zaslav wants to cut some of the promotion for Man of Tomorrow. This was all rumors. It does seem like he's kind of debunking those rumors by saying that they're kind of staying on course. But if David Ellison is basically the end all be all, David Zaslav's just a talking piece at this point, trying to make everything sound sweet. While Paramount, David Ellison, whatever, are basically the ones that are behind the scenes saying, no, you're not allowed to do this, you're not allowed to do that. And I do think that that does extend to James Gunn, not just whatever big IPs Warner Brothers have, but if James Gunn's DC universe was more profitable, I'm pretty sure they would have been like, "Hey, man, keep running it through
Yeah.
as this merger
No,
is going through.
this,
We need the money."
the tune would definitely change. And, Zaslav is what I was talking about. Zaslav kind of acknowledging that Supergirl sucked, but also not wanting to change course. That's just as delusional as the fucking Disney CEO being like, "Hey, yeah, man, movie sucked, but we got Disneyland." You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
but the difference is DC's broke. They need this shit to work for them.
Yeah, they don't have a Disneyland, and I
Yeah,
mean
no.
toy sales. And the thing about DC's like toy sales, like I go to Walmart, none of the like David Cornsweet stuff is taken. I go to Target, none of the Hot Girl stuff is taken. Like everything is so full when it comes to DC stuff, but Marvel's always ran through.
Right. And like it's like Marvel stuff is taken, and like I see nothing but like the Legends, the DC Legends toys
Dude,
taken.
anime's always taken too. I know a lot of like the anime shelves in Target, like those are always swiped through, and I'm just like, God damn. Like everybody likes everything else besides DC. So it's a very sad day to be a DC fan. It's a sad year. It's been a sad few years to be a DC fan. I know a lot of people are not excited for this kind of news because it's like, okay, even the little bit of DC that you're possibly getting. But right now they're making a mockery of like the new Lanterns film with like fart jokes and shit on Twitter. So why the fuck do we still want this universe? I don't know. Like at this point, like just let these characters go out with some dignity. I'm tired of seeing Aquaman eat a roach or
Right.
whatever his brother. Tired. Oh, I am Aquaman. The whole Gal Gadot and the Flash thing is played out. Sex, I never had it. Oh my god, like it's just all that dumb shit is played out. Like we're done with all that stuff. Like it's a weird time that James Gunn kind of took over, and we got like this weird warped timeline where it's like just dumb shit jokes in the DCU towards the end, and then dumb shit jokes in the middle of the DCU. So like, there's obviously a correlation here that we just need to like we need to stop this weird like timeline. I'm tired of this shit. Like we should have been at a profitable stage in this time. The MCU had a 2 year fucking fumble. That was like the perfect time for DC to basically pick it up and be like, hey, bro, we got the ball now. And Marvel's just like, no, bro, sit your ass down. You don't have shit. You didn't have shit. We thought you had it. You did not have it. Nothing's there. Marvel's already on its comeback while DC is still trying to scramble for its bearings. Like it doesn't make any sense. So
Yeah.
at this point we just have to walk away and say, hey, DC needs to heal from within, and then maybe we can have a future together. Until then, I don't know how much more I could it's getting depressing to talk about DC at this point. Gotta be
Mm.
honest. It's getting a little
Yeah.
depressing.
Right. It's been this depressing for a long time, but yeah.
It's been depressing for a long time, but at least we had like, hope, and there was like a little bit of something there. I mean, I understand like you probably didn't have it 100% for like the whole James Gunn administration change or whatever, but there was a point in time where I was like, okay, maybe he brings something to the table we haven't seen. Like, yeah, I know like that whole, it's going to be the same as Marvel thing was like up in the air, But I had, even though that was in my head, I was having hope that, hey, he'll probably change it. He hears the chatter online. He's not going to do the same thing. Unfortunately, like a knee jerk reaction, like just a habit you cannot get yourself out of. He just had to copy and paste everything that he did, and that's probably something that has to be like a big pro and con to having your biggest hit be the Guardians of the Galaxy. The pro is that yeah, you had like the number one smash hit for like 3 movies in a row, and the formula worked, and it worked within the MCU. Con, it gave you the biggest hit in the world, bro. It gave you the biggest head in the world, and you thought that that was like the formula. You thought you could have just taken that shit and used it anywhere and splattered it all over the place and did whatever you wanted. And you realize that only works in an already sustained universe. Okay, if it's an original film, if it's something that you got to kind of promote to the masses, if whatever, especially if they already seen it somewhere else, you cannot use that over and over again. And I do think that that's probably put him in that little corner right there. Is that
Exactly.
hey, you had the success, you just didn't realize what the success was. You thought it was you. You thought you came up with the idea. You thought you were the genius. Oh shit, it's me. No, it was Marvel. Marvel made you because you made Tremors. That was cool. Whatever. I mean the what is it? The Belko experiment. Cool. You produced the Brightburn movie. Cool. But what have you done as a director that would have like that has changed the game? Gave us
Nothing.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
He gave us Guardians of the Galaxy 6 almost, I think, 8 different times now. It's never
Yeah.
going to change.
So he did change the game, but then continue to repeat the playbook. You know what I mean? It's like, when you tell the game to freestyle and he starts with red roses on the escalator or whatever. And then
Right.
you're getting the same rap bullshit over and over again. It's
Right,
gonna be
right, right.
crazy.
Gotta take the
I don't know if
headphone
you I
off.
don't basically, yeah. I don't know if you I don't know if that's a little inside joke for like the hip hop people, but for the people that don't know, if you know the rapper of the game, you know what he freestyles. You know that he always will start a freestyle off with red roses on an Escalade, and you know that that shit's gonna just be the same bar for bar freestyle that he did on another freestyle thing that he did before, and then another freestyle thing, and he just he changes a thing here and there, and it's so funny. It's hilarious. If you guys haven't looked it up, look it up on YouTube. It's a funny thing. Moving on though, let us know what you guys think about DC and what they're going to possibly have to do with that. David Ellison is in the middle of his Paramount WB merger. We don't know if that means trouble in paradise for DC Studios because it does seem like there is on the outside, but on the inside it sounds like they're trying to hold it all together. But we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Moving on, Josh. Jim Carrey also potentially starring in a Jetsons movie. I don't know how happy I am about this, okay? Not just for a live action Jetsons movie. Look, if that happens, I don't think we had that. I think I'm okay with a live action Jetsons movie. But for me, I thought we were gonna have a little special moment where Jim Carrey was just gonna be like for the Sonic movies and then just kind of retire, and we were gonna be happy and be cool. Um, but we're not getting that. It sounds like he's not retiring after all, and we might see him in a live action Jetsons movie. I don't know. How do we feel about that?
I mean, on one hand, something tells me that a lot of people probably don't know the Jetsons anymore. And Jim Carrey could be the guy to bring it all back together, which is cool. But I don't know. I don't know if this is the move for him. I guess with Sonic taking forever, this could be something, but I don't know. It's still like up in the air.
I remember the Jetsons.
But yeah, but I mean, you want a bunch of adults watching your movie that came out from a cartoon that came out in the 90s? I don't know.
I think that movie was before the 90s.
No, this movie. This movie would be about the cartoon in the 90s. Or is it the 80s? When did the Jetsons come
It was
out?
in the 60s.
Oh,
I was
shit.
about to say, because when I watched this, it was on Boomerang. It wasn't even on Cartoon Network. This shit was like on Boomerang. So it was like way older than me. I knew that. And I was like, oh my God. In the 60s is crazy. So yeah, I mean, we
Yeah.
haven't seen the Jetsons in years. They've always been kind of like a funny gag here and there. Like if you know the Jetsons, you probably seen them in the background of like Family Guy. You probably seen them, in a little commercial here and there, whatever. Like they've always just been kind of like a little niche thing. Like if you see them, you're like, oh, what the fuck, the Jetsons? That's crazy. If it's a little like joke, you're like, that's a Jetsons joke. That's crazy. But like it's always been like so little, so subtle. It's never been like the main front line like pop culture in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Right.
And especially nowadays, it's been died down a lot more. So I mean, Jim Carrey doing this movie would do this movie a lot of favors, 100%. I'm just more like, man, I thought Jim Carrey was gonna,
Yeah,
bow
we
out
thought he was
gracefully with the
done.
Sonic movies. Yeah. So I guess that's just me. I mean, would you be interested in a Jetsons movie? I mean, I understand it's before your time. It was before my time too. But have you ever like actually sat down and watched the full episode of the Jetsons?
No.
Stick a nail in your foot.
Um, Dexter's Laboratory. Johnny
Okay, well,
Bravo.
I mean, yeah, that's actually before your time, but like I said, that's probably in the '90s. So like that was like, you know, you from what I would watch on Boomerang, that was before the '90s, right? So if you were watching something in the 2000s, it would be watching it. The earliest is probably the '90s. You probably catch little glimpses of those early '80s, '70s, '60s shows or whatever, but like it wasn't like prominent on your feed as it was for me back then. And I understand that. So that's why I'm like, man, for these like younger generations who like my kids don't even know the Jetsons. Like if I were to ask them who the Jetsons are, they're going to look at me and be like, I don't, they just look at me all crazy. Like
Yeah.
they do not. There's no Jetsons, nothing. I hardly even see any Jetsons merchandise out there. So,
Exactly.
like Jim Carrey would be doing this movie some favors, a
For
hundred
sure.
percent. Like we get a good cast in this movie, it'd be doing it some favors. So I guess in the movie side, I would be excited to see Jim Carrey in this. But like I said, it would have been cool to see him kind of bow out with the Sonic movie. But it is what it is.
Yeah. So you're just gonna have to wait and see.
Yeah, I'm excited though. I mean, hopefully something good comes out of this. It's just more of a how can we hype the general audiences for a live action Jetsons movie? And the amount of money that's probably gonna have like be put into it to basically make it look the way it looks because it does have a unique look. It doesn't look like it's futuristic, but it's not like what the future Jim Carrey would probably play the dad for sure. Um, but this is like what the future looked like back then, kind of like I guess the best way to put it was like what we kind of saw in Meet the Robinsons,
Oh. Oh, okay. I
but
see what you're saying.
like in their own like utopia, it'd be I would say more like yeah, it
Yeah,
was
because
something like that.
they like fly everywhere. There's no like
hmm
streets.
I always thought it was hilarious that the animators would like stick their hand out the window and stuff like that, but it would just look like they were just clipping through. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was young, I would just be like, "What the hell?" Like it would just be kind of weird. But I'd be like, "It's a cartoon. It's an old cartoon." Let us know what you guys think, though. Are you guys excited for a Jetsons movie? Who do you guys think could play the cast? I can't even ask Josh because he hasn't seen any of these actors or any of these characters play in any capacity in his lifetime. But if you've seen the Jetsons, let me know so we can have the conversation. I'm down to once a little bit more cast members get announced. I'm down to give a little bit more of what who I think should be playing who and whatever. But let us know what you guys think. Moving on though, Josh, Gareth Edwards is exiting the Jurassic World Rebirth sequel over creative differences. Sound familiar? Sound a little familiar with what happened with the first Rebirth movie, where they get a director and they say, "This is the script that we have. Make this movie," and he goes, "Actually, I don't want to make your movie because this is not the movie I want to make," and so he walked out. And then we got Gareth Edwards, and now it's the same thing. It's like a fucking Groundhog Day. Gareth Edwards is leaving as well. Over the same reason, creative differences, which I'm assuming, same thing, they probably have um, a predetermined plot, a predetermined vision on where they want the movie to go, and they just don't want to do it. Gareth Edwards, Jurassic World Rebirth also wasn't like the biggest money maker.
Right.
So maybe this is just another way of them like getting rid of them. But it did make money, and this is still kind of like, in my opinion, one of the better looking Dino movies. If you gave him the chance to write his own Dino movie and not just get a director to make it look good, I we would probably get something better. But I don't know. I think we're at a point with Jurassic World where it's Universal, right? Where Universal feels like they
Yeah.
need to hold the reins so tight in order for the franchise to work.
I mean, I think it's just them, like I don't know if it's a positive, but I mean, you had bro right there, and he was working off a salvage script that someone else did. I think he probably could have made something better with himself, but I think Paramount's just does Paramount is particular in the way they go about things and stuff, and or no, not Paramount, sorry, Universal, that maybe they just don't want to take a stab at another random thing, and they're looking at him as like the sacrificial lamb, unfortunately, because he picked up someone else's script, and he they thought he could make it work, and it didn't work to what they expected. So now they're just basically using him to blame him, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's just it. Maybe they're just holding it too tight because they just don't know where to go with it at this point.
Well, they do know where to go with it because I am correct. David Coep is returning to write this, to be the screenwriter and to be basically the script writer as well. So David Coep did do, and I remember speaking about him as well because he is the original writer for the Jurassic Park movies. And so he basically returned, and Universal thought they had a gold mine. You know, like I said, there's David Coep, and then there's Steven Spielberg. You kind of need the both of them, in my opinion, right? They're like a group that you need them. David Coep is coming back to write this script again, and we got to be honest, probably some of the worst shit that I've seen in that movie. Okay, like a candy wrapper being the reason why all that shit goes down. Fucking absurd. You wrote that on a piece of paper and they filmed it. That's the sad part. You wrote it on a piece of paper, they read it, they said, "Hey, this is so fucking good. Our first director doesn't want to do it. Why not? Get somebody else." They wound up getting somebody else, and then it's stupid. It's dumb. And then you get the fucking a new dinosaur because they just want to sell more dinosaur. Which, let me tell you something. I see that dinosaur at Target. Looks dumb. It looks dumb as shit. It's no kid wants to play with it. It's always sitting on the Target shelf. I never see any kid be like, give me that dinosaur. Give me that. I want that dinosaur." Nobody says that. But they wrote it. They read it and said, "Yeah, we need to film this." And the first director doesn't want to do it. Fuck you. We're getting somebody else. And then they got Gareth Edwards, and it's like, well, dude, what the fuck? So we gotta be honest. David Coep is not the writer that he used to be, or if he is that same writer, he needs somebody who's gonna rein him in and or make those necessary changes to do, to make the movie needs to be. You're bringing him back, and then you get rid of the director, in my opinion, who made the most beautifully shot Jurassic Park movie we've had in ever. So it's crazy.
Yeah, Universal fucking up. That's kind of the best way to put it. I didn't think Universal could fuck up this bad with a franchise that's supposed to be so beloved, but here we are. Why does it feel like everything's so sad? Disney doesn't care about this shit. Universal's having struggles with a franchise people love. DC has been struggling, in my opinion, since James Gunn took the fucking reins. All I have now is Marvel. Thank you,
Greed.
Spider-Man, Brand New Day. Thank you.
It's all greed. It's greed. It's called greed. You hate to see greed in action. But I do think this always happens. It's always like, it's cool for a few years. They leave the status quo for a few years. They leave it untouched, and then when time changes and they got to kind of tighten the grip. This is where it gets to the weird bumpy area. But I do think putting more money into like your toys and your streaming, and then not really putting it into the box office so much, in my opinion, is why I know this is kind of like the biggest year for like box office, but I don't think it's for the amount of movies that are being put out. It's all for like these special event ones, like Obsession or like Spider-Man Brand New Day, maybe Doomsday, maybe Dune. But like Jurassic Park isn't going to be making the money it's going to be hoping to make just
Right.
because dinosaurs. Eventually other companies are going to be making dinosaur movies too. I know Universal's kind of like the I don't know why they're kind of like the strict owners of dinosaurs. Like they're the only ones that who can like make dinosaur movies effectively. But eventually, people are going to move on from that. It just, how many can you make before the audience gets tired?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking they could do three, but the first one wasn't strong enough for a second one. I don't think so. You got to kind of wow people with the second one.
Yeah. Good luck to Universal.
Yeah, good luck to Universal. Yeah, but hey, David Coet, man, my eye is on you, my dog. You need to buckle up. Who do you think that can replace Garrett Edwards though? You got a director in mind to make a dinosaur movie?
No.
How much do you think Steven Spielberg would take to come back,
A
reunite with
fucking
his old
shit
David
ton.
Coet?
A shit ton. He would need a lot to come back and undo it all. He would, yeah, no, he'd be the most expensive thing.
Mm-hmm. And they're like, no, 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 we're not paying for that. They're like, we're not gonna pay for that. That's crazy.
No, no.
I don't know who could shoot dinosaurs. Who can do something? I mean, he's probably gonna be busy with the next Spider-Man, but or Naruto too. But Destin Daniel Cretton, would he be able to do like a dinosaur movie?
He gonna make a dinosaur do a kickflip off of the side of the mountain? Maybe. Maybe.
Gonna make Scarlett Johansson give him the hands. They're gonna make him one on one a T Rex, and she's gonna win.
Was it Gareth Edwards that did that first Godzilla?
Yeah, the one with Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Yeah. See, that's as beautiful a shot as we'll get. Yeah, like, that's kind of my thing.
Mm-hmm. Trying to think of a director who can do like big scale like this. I mean, what's his face could probably do it. What's his name? James Mangold.
Oh yeah.
Who made the BFG movie?
I don't know.
I think that was Steven Spielberg.
Yeah. We just established it's too expensive.
I know. I think it was though. I'm trying to figure it out. Hold on. It was Steven Spielberg. Yep, it would be too expensive. My bad. I was like, man, I remember that movie was beautifully shot for like a giant and everything. And I mean, the CGA is not the best, but it is what it is. But I was like, that was beautifully shot. I wonder who made that, and it was literally Steven Spielberg. So maybe he's worth the money. I don't know. Maybe he's Universal. You telling me you're not making enough money at the merchandise? You're not making money like Disney hand over fist for dinosaur merchandise at Jurassic Park World or whatever the fuck.
I guess not, man.
Time to let out the dinosaurs. The
Universal's
real ones.
biggest shit right now has to be like the Minions and all that stuff.
Yeah, I always see the Optimus Prime attraction on TikTok
Yeah, see?
where like Megatron's just fucking roasting people 24/7. And then and you know what? That is funny because then the next time you see them like really popping is usually around Christmas time when the Grinch is out talking shit to other people. So it's like Universal doesn't really, it's not really as popping at like Disney. I'll see normal like Disney vlogs or I'll see people like going to Disney or like doing whatever, blah blah blah, Disney, Disney, Disney. But Universal, I only see those things like just get you go there to get your shit fucking rocked by Megatron and the Grinch. Like people are excited about that. That's crazy.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think that's just kind of funny. Because even when
It
I
is
see
funny.
those, when I see those and I hear Megatron like laugh through that, like, oh, like it gets
Yeah.
me fucking rolling too. Because I'm just like, what
It's
the
funny. It's so funny to me, but I'm just like I'm thinking about it now, and I'm just like it seems like you only go to Universal to basically get roasted. Like that's, and then you laugh about it because Megatron doing it to you. It's like man, if he
Yeah.
just imagine him just coming over to conquer the world, and he just lines up every human and just roasts the shit out of them.
Him,
So it's like,
him
hey
and
man,
Optimus are just having a roast battle in the middle of Chicago.
yeah, it's not even them throwing hands. They just want to just be like, hey, look at that one. It's just like, goddamn. But let us know who you guys think should be directing the new Jurassic World movie. Like I said, David Coep is going to be writing the script. If you weren't a big fan of the last one, we got to really dig deep for this for a director that can one hold his ground, one do it for cheap, and then one also shoot it beautifully. Like that's three things. Holy shit! Like you got some boxes to fill here. But let us know what you guys think. Moving on though, Josh, we're here at our trailers, Joe. Uh, we're gonna start with this one. We're gonna start with this one because this is gonna either be the saddest thing you've seen today, and we're just gonna, let it ride, or is gonna be, some kind of hope for you, in hopes that you can overcome adversity and hopefully just do better for yourself. But Josh, the Daily Wire put out their trailer for Run, Hide, Fight, Infidels. That is the name of their movie. And you're wondering why we're watching the trailer for the Daily Wire. Well, Josh, the star of this film is Jonathan Majors.
Oh.
This is the film that he had signed up for.
Oh, no.
For after his whole fiasco and him being blackballed from the industry and whatnot. This is the Daily Wire's Run, Hide, Fight, Infidels, starring Jonathan Majors. Are we excited to see him back? This is a step forward in the right direction to help him, redeem his name and whatnot. I don't know.
No, not for the Daily Wire. I know what they do over there.
Okay, you just for the people that are listening, can you let them know who the Daily Wire consists of?
They are like this right wing agenda people that push their own stuff. They think that if they make their own stuff for the right wing side, it competes with left wing Hollywood, quote unquote. For those that can't see it,
right?
That's what they think. They think they need their own movies to compete. But
the
from
Shapiros, the Walshes, the Owens. I mean, they're
not
a part of it anymore.
They have their own little app, which doesn't really have a lot. But yeah, they think they need their own stuff, so they do shit like this.
Gina Carano was in one of their movies.
Yes, Gina Carano.
Jonathan Majors.
This is just where you go when you're blackballed, I guess, and it's unfortunate.
They're assembling a team. I don't know. I'm happy Johnny Depp didn't stoop this low, but what if this is like a good step to kind of just progressing their career? This could just be a stepping stone, right? So let's check out this trailer, and let's see if Josh, if you're excited for Jonathan Majors' comeback.
Your country is beneath contempt.
We who love and serve Allah fought back against the Americans and the Zionists from the scourge of secularism and the lands of unbelief.
Anyone gonna listen to Captain Saunders tomorrow? The retired Delta Force soldier with a new book out.
He's the polar opposite of those brain-dead protesters.
Given the current climate, should Clay Saunders even be allowed on campus?
Mr. Saunders is a close personal friend of Chancellor Friedman. This is a decision I cannot fight.
There are three ways Islam will conquer the West. Through immigration, through the wombs of our women, and by using our nation's freedoms against us. Are you paying attention?
Listen carefully.
The great Satan, America, will fall. You are infidels. The bodies of women are not pure, and the men's souls are unclean.
What makes them so dangerous? Their goals are not in this life, but the next.
Anyone?
I got friends here. I can't just leave.
Listen to me!
Illallah.
We cannot run or hide from what is coming. We have to fight.
I will be rewarded 10,000 times in the next life. When you die, you're nothing. Only one way to find out.
That's the American way.
I mean, he's braver enough to say the American way than Superman and shit. So I mean, that's fine. That's cool.
It feels so.
This obviously feels like Ben Shapiro wrote this shit.
This feels
like,
madly racist. I'm not gonna lie. I
don't think
can't
I don't
sugarcoat.
think that's what it is. I just think it's more like.
Okay.
I gotta say the trailer is ass though. Like whoever cut this trailer up and
This looks like a fan film.
this looks like I gotta say it looks like a fan film and whoever cut this trailer up didn't do it any favors. Like it's like
okay. So
they couldn't figure out who to do it.
So this looked bad. The messaging felt racist, and I think I know what they're trying to do. And Jonathan, the whole thing is like, oh, they're these terrorists, right? And I'm only calling them what the movie calls them, okay? Mm-hmm. I don't support Ben Shapiro's ideals or nothing. But these terrorists take over a college, and the only one that can save them is a black former gun-toting military guy, Jonathan Majors. That sounds so bad. It sounds so bad. And so for him to at the end just be like, "This is the American way," like, way to fucking cherry on top, I guess, man. You know, not heavy-handed at all.
Everything in this movie is heavy-handed. It's this is bad. I was like, holy shit. Like I was just sitting here. I was like, okay. I mean, we've seen this kind of stuff. You know, you got to protect them from but they started saying all these like words and shit. And I'm like, dude, the only people that says this shit is them. Like I don't care. Like we want to hear. What is it? It's that thing where people say like we want realism in our movies, but not that much realism. Because it's like you kind of lose that, what is it that you lose that suspension of relief, right? Like you just or disbelief where you just want to not. You don't want to leave the real world and go into the real world in the movie theater. You know what I mean? Like you try to use it as an escape. You try to watch a movie and all that stuff. And this seems like they're trying to make it. Like I got a little hint of like the whole Charlie Kirk thing in here a little bit. Dude, so I was like, dude,
what's the point of them taking over a college campus? Wouldn't you go to a fucking U.S. embassy, the president's, the White House? We've had that story plenty of times, but are they that broke? They have to film on a fake college? Dude, ridiculous.
That's what I'm saying, but I'm pretty sure that it's not what they meant to do, but it kind of feels like they were kind of like, playing into the whole Charlie Kirk thing a little bit here. Like, obviously it didn't go down that way, but like he's becoming the hero to actually make it out and stuff. But I'm like, this is
Jonathan Majors. Please don't.
Yeah, dude. I think he made it. Like when we heard that he was signing up with them, we were like, oh shoot, this could be bad. Oh, dude, we were right. It was bad.
This is bad.
This is bad. Well, his career is done. We're gonna move on from Jonathan Majors. If you guys want to watch this movie, that's your flavor, that's your cup of tea. Check out the trailer if you want to, but I think I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I don't know if we're talking about Jonathan Majors anymore, though. I think this is kind of like the final. Like, if you had a roadmap, right, of like the biggest fumble for an actor in history, this is it right here. And can he come back later on in his career? After this, slim. Oh my God, so slim. Like where he had a bigger chance. Oh shit, dude. What are we? We're moving on from Jonathan Majors. This is it. I'm sorry, Josh. How do you feel about this, man? Like this is you were really hyped for this man too. This
It's
is really. I'm done with
unfortunate.
him. I don't want to talk about him no more. But what do you?
I think this
You,
fucking sucks. I
you
don't
had
think
a
this
lot of hope for this man.
this is not the pipeline he should be going down. He could have made it back. He could have made it out. He could have. I know it. But not like this. I hope this is a one and done. I hope this isn't like something he continues to do. But yeah.
Let us know what you guys think. Check out the trailer. Moving on. Josh, we have a new trailer for Primetime. An actual trailer. I know we watched the teaser trailer before, and that one it wasn't terrible. You kind of got the kind of the sense of what we're gonna be getting, but now we actually have voice lines um from what's his name? Robert Pattinson, Batman, and he actually he's gonna be playing Chris Hansen. So this is something that I feel like we got to see his mannerisms, we got to hear his voice, we got to believe that he's Chris Hansen at this point, right? And this is I think this movie's kind of coming out at a perfect time. We see all these like YouTube stuff where like YouTube predators being caught, whatever, blah blah blah. Like this is kind of like a perfect time to put out a movie like this. A24 is doing it, as we know from last time. I mean, are you excited to actually see a little bit more from this one? Is this one
Absolutely.
on your radar a little
Yes.
bit, or is this kind of like a movie that's just like,
No, yeah,
if
no.
it comes out, it goes, whatever?
No, it's on my radar. I like funny enough because I liked watching like it wasn't. I don't think it was on air at the time when I was younger, but
I'll watch
YouTube,
Dateline on YouTube.
Yeah, Dateline on YouTube. I watched that. That's how I figured out who he was and what he did and stuff. So I'm hoping it's good. I'm hoping Pattinson delivers.
Yeah, me too. Let's get into it. Let's see what we got here. And I mean, one thing's for sure, we got the dude that plays the Flash, and he's supposed to be playing one of the Predators. So I'm just like, interesting. All right, let's get into it.
Come on in.
Are you sure your parents aren't home?
I'm sure.
Big night planned.
Who are you?
Why don't you have a seat right there? I'm Chris Hansen with Dateline NBC, and we're doing a story on adults who try to meet teens online. You see how this looks, right?
I don't really like your show, but America loves it. So I need to move you to Catch a Predator, 9 p.m. prime time.
Gonna be bigger than Lost.
My name is Dan Plum.
Do you know what you're auditioning for?
So you are playing a 13-year-old?
Is there time for a rehearsal?
We're gonna shoot the rehearsal.
Come in.
They're gonna love this.
Predator has never earned the recognition it deserves. I want something that matters. No more bottom feeders. I want a whale.
Don't you ever just want to bleed them?
Maybe what I do is a little worse.
This could be our greatest segment yet.
We're going to him. We don't do that. They come to us.
I don't understand what I'm doing here.
What you're doing is more than acting.
You're cleansing the world of an ancient evil.
Let's catch us a predator.
Who gave you permission to do this?
You have no plan.
I have to put him on television.
You're gonna be so proud of me.
I don't want to be a bad person. Your definition of bad and my definition of bad are vastly different. What would have happened if I wasn't here?
This looks good.
It looks good. Nightcrawler
Now,
vibes.
yeah. So like, I mean, I know if you only seen Chris Hansen on Dateline, and this is something where I'm like, I'm happy that they're bringing all this up because this, I don't know, to be honest, is this a little confusing for you, like seeing all his like behind the scenes stuff, like all that crazy shit or whatever?
A little bit, but I figured it's just asking the question of like, was he doing morally correct or was he doing it for the views or whatever? But I think couldn't it be both? Couldn't it be a bit both? Like, obviously I'm getting fame and recognition, but I'm also catching fucking bad guys.
Right. So like, here's the thing: is that like in real life too, if you go down the rabbit hole of like how crazy his life was and what he was doing like during that Dateline stuff, and it's funny enough that I got interested in him when like he popped up. He popped up during the whole, what was it? Was it the Logan Paul fight or was it the Jake Paul fight?
When
where like he
with
showed
Dylan
up.
Dennis?
Yeah, we showed up with Dylan Dennis, and like he was over there roasting Dylan Dennis. I was like, why the fuck would Chris Hansen do this for a check? I was like, wasn't he like revered back in the early 2000s for the stuff that he did? So I went down the rabbit hole and I looked him up or whatever, and I was like, holy damn, like he was actually wilding out himself too behind the scenes. So I think it's interesting if you want to go look it up on your own time or whatever. I don't really want to talk about Chris Hansen and all that stuff, but like you go look it up on your own time. He actually does some wild shit, and I'm just like, it's funny that we're gonna kind of crack this open. So like a lot of people have this like interpretation that Chris Hansen is just like the Dateline guy, the Predator dude, but like unless you actually either lived in that time where like all this stuff was kind of going down, you really don't really know. And it was past my time, or at least I was a kid when it was happening, so I really obviously didn't pay any attention to it. And then by the time I grew up, I really didn't care because I was like, oh, he's catching predators and stuff like that. So maybe he kind of immortalized himself in that way. But this movie coming out like this and kind of open those floodgates is gonna be like, oh shit, like it's a little interesting for me. It's a little interesting. Yeah. I like that. It's cool. Check it out though. The trailer. It's prime time, A24. It looks good. Robert Pattinson is gonna give a performance.
For sure.
He's gonna give a performance. I'm just more like, damn, is this gonna give him like an award or something like that? I know like he's coming out in Dune, so that's gonna be exciting too. He's on a roll right now, huh?
Yeah, he was in Dune. He's in this one. I mean, he was in
the drama,
the Odyssey. Like, yeah, he's on a roll.
Oh, you said he wasn't good in the drama though, right?
He was good in the drama. The story and the drama just sucked.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so he's basically on a roll. So we're gonna be seeing Robert Pattinson for a good minute. The Batman Part 2 is gonna be coming out pretty soon too. So I mean, it's being recorded right now, but eventually it's gonna come out. And I don't know. I like Robert Pattinson. I think he's really like coming up bigger than what he was before. Like he was more underground after the whole Twilight thing, so it's really nice to see him get more recognition, more flowers, and actually more bigger roles like this where it's like he's getting more intense. It's nice. I like it. Check out the trailer though. Prime time on YouTube. Moving on. Last but not least, Josh, our final trailer. We have the only living pickpocket in New York. John Turturro. I always mess up his name. And Giancarlo Esposito. It's about a pickpocket. It's about a pickpocket who pickpockets in a world where nobody carries shit on them. So we'll have to worry.
Oh yeah.
And we got to check out this trailer and see what that's about.
You know what you did wrong? It wasn't the lift. You did that swell. You need something to hide it. Sometimes you got a newspaper or a magazine.
That's it.
Yeah, I'm full of them. You got to take it day by day. We're everywhere if you keep an eye out.
Hey!
When you come into work with us old dogs.
You gotta learn some new tricks.
Nothing's as good as a 5-finger discount. Watches?
That's Fugazi.
You get platinum cards.
Yeah. Even suckers get a day off sometimes.
All right, honey. I'm sorry we lost the day together. Maybe I'll grab a tape at the library. Something with Barbara Stanwyck. Well, let me get it for you.
Dude, that's where he got you. Okay, there he is.
You know the consequence of stealing from a family like mine. There's no coming back from this.
I'm feeling lost today.
What are you into, Harry?
I tried to find my way back, but the landscape has changed.
I think I gave you the card. I need it back.
Everything gets sent out.
No. Damn it, man. This is serious. I lost something. It's real important I get it back.
It's tough to lose things.
I spent my life in people's pockets.
You never had anything to give.
In my line, you don't get many second chances to do things the right way.
I'm feeling lost today.
Hello, sir.
I like that.
How is he the only living pickpocket if we saw another pickpocketing in the beginning of the trailer?
Because he's better than them. That's the point.
Oh, got you.
But I like that. That's pretty good. After watching the one that you put me on, the night of, I'm down for anything with him.
Yeah, like serious in his role. I mean, yeah, because if you don't really look into his thing, he doesn't really do a lot of serious roles. I feel like he does a lot more like just goofy, off the cuff stuff. So when he does stuff like this, I really like. It really kind of pulls me in. So I'm interested to see what he does in this movie. I was just like, man, ain't shit to really pickpocket in this. Like, I mean, you still, that's basically what's getting him in trouble in this movie is like a card or whatever that he wound up pickpocketing from the wrong person. But it's like, you pickpocket somebody, they either got a watch, they got a debit card, credit card, whatever, but they put a block on that nowadays. So it's like, what are you really stealing from people? Not really much, just something on their person for the moment, and then they go home. So, and that's basically it. So I don't know, but this one seems pretty interesting. I just for the acting, Steve Buscemi in here.
Yeah, don't see him much either.
Might see him in Grown Ups 3.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Cool stuff. I mean, we don't like see him too much, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm interested in this one though. I'm down for it. Speaking of, real quick before we wrap it up though, I have a question because I don't know if you've seen this thing, but like I don't know if it's true or not, but like, oh, and let us know what you guys think. Check out The Only Living Pocket in New York. It's on YouTube right now. But last thing before we wrap it up, Josh, a little quick thing. I don't know if you heard about this, but like apparently Grown Ups 3, it's some rumor, but like Adam Sandler might be paying a bunch of money. I think it was like $300K or something like that, to like AI generate his son, who the actor who played his son who passed away. I forgot his name.
I know you're talking about.
Do you remember his name?
No.
I don't want to be disrespectful or nothing like that. Cameron Bryce.
Oh, okay.
If what do you call it? Like, I know that he put him in a certain scene in Happy Gilmore. It was just like a picture or whatever. But apparently, he said like nobody else is gonna play, his son in live action or whatever. That it's always gonna be him.
Yeah.
And that he might be potentially paying to have him AI generated, or at least, facially put him into the movie at some point, for Grown Ups 3. Like, if it's true, how do we feel about that?
That's terrible. That's unfortunate. I'm sorry. That's bad. I think that's bad.
I mean, it seems well intentioned on his part, right?
But I mean,
like,
at that point, they're gonna be like adults already, all the kids. So there's no reason not to just get someone a little older. That's like Vin Diesel doing it to Paul Walker, and like, yeah, he only did it to him at the end of Fast 7 or Fury 7 to basically wrap it all up. But if he were to do that now for Paul Walker, it'd also be a little disrespectful, I feel. So I don't know. I don't see this as like a good thing, even if he does mean good intentions.
Damn. Really? I don't know. I'm kind of torn about it. Because on one hand, like I said, it seems like good intentions to want to do it. But then there's that where I'm like, well, you could just totally get somebody, I understand he passed away, but you could get somebody who, who is older that looks like him that can give a chance to another actor who can, obviously not fill that hole or like replace Cameron, but like to, maybe make a new relationship in that same vein. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. It just seems more like a sweet thing. And if it's played right, which I mean, he didn't do him dirty in the Happy Gilmore one, but that was just like a quick picture and a TV screen and then it moved on. This one is like potentially, I don't know. If you AI generate something, I'm assuming you're going to want him actively
doing stuff and participating. Yeah.
Maybe not speaking, but like, smiling there or, moving his hands in a way or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
And if it's for Netflix, it's going to look wonky.
Oh, well, like I said, I mean, Netflix has been technically using AI on the low.
And they're wrong for that too. So
I mean, if they're using it on the low, and you haven't really been noticing it, then maybe they do it right on the low.
And what am I really watching on Netflix?
Nothing.
Nothing. So of course I wouldn't notice anything I'm not watching.
You're gonna watch that GTA 6 trailer though? It drops on the 27th.
Wouldn't I just watch that on YouTube? Why are they doing that?
For a quick bag. I mean, I don't know. Maybe because well, in my opinion, I do think that, they know that it's like a big, like they know GTA 6, like where a video game has to promote themselves to be like, hey, come buy my game. They know that GTA 6, everybody's been waiting for it. Everybody's like been anticipating it. Like people are banging on the door actively saying, hey, give me a copy of GTA 6. I've seen somebody, it's sad. I don't think it's funny, but it was, he was kind of like on his last wish deathbed. And he was like, I want to play GTA 6 on my dying breath before, I pass. I'm like, I'm not here to shit on nobody's dying wish, so that's pretty cool. But like he put out a video to Rockstar, so like there's actively a lot of people that really want to play this game. I feel like they understand that, and I feel like people have been waiting for a gameplay trailer too. So they're like, okay, this is the best way to not only make a quick bag, but they're gonna also help out Netflix by generate possibly revenue either by free trial or like free trial viewership, or like people are gonna actually actively pay for like the lowest membership or whatever to just tune in.
Right.
So it's just a money thing. And, positioning. They know that people want that shit, so. Have you gotten your copy of GTA 6?
No, not yet, no. I want to.
Oh. Okay, you need to get that. But let us know what you guys think. GTA 6 is also coming out, so, all this stuff. AI, Netflix, GTA 6. We could go on and on and on. But let us know any topics that we don't hit, any topics that we don't talk about, any movies we want us to review, TV shows. Josh, let them know where they can talk to us, hear their voice on one of these episodes, and yeah.
Twitter, TikTok, Instagram at Fanbros Podcast. Post on episodes wherever we can hit us up there for news and movies and wants to cover. Buzzsprout, link in the social I just gave you. It's like a Patreon. You subscribe, you have the show code. Greatly appreciate it. Listen to us any Richer podcast at Fanbros Podcast, Spotify, YouTube Music, Apple Podcasts. Again, wherever you get your podcast. Be part of the conversation. Twitch at Film Bros Podcast, and we're all sent down. Subscribe to our YouTube at Film Bros Podcast.
And with that being said, we'll talk to you guys on the next one.
We'll talk to you guys later.